Cristian, just what did Dempsey mean to this team?
Well, to this team or to this nation? I mean, it's really difficult to put in words what he's done for the sport in the United States. He is the reason why a lot of us Americans are playing the sport. He's been such a great example, just on and off the field, scoring goals, making an impact around. And, Clint is obviously, I haven't spoken to him today, but, I assume he's in good spirits and, is going to be rooting for us for the rest of the year.
When you were a rookie, what was your first interaction with Clint like when you were drafted out of the UW and showed up to Sounders training?
Well, actually, before then, I actually practiced with the Sounders when I was at the University of Washington. I actually fouled him really hard in training. That was my first initial, moment with him, and I fouled him pretty hard. I ended up falling down. And I'm like, Clint, I'm sorry. Like this college kid, skinny dude, like just saying, yo, I'm sorry. I know who you are, but I'm really sorry. He comes back to me and says, I didn't know I was running into a brick wall. And I remember those words exactly. And that's my first memory of Clint. And, it serves as a good example of what he ended up being as a professional for me.
Cristian, what kind of teammate was Clint?
Fantastic in the locker room, brave on the field. He was that one guy that showed that grit, that passion in somewhat of a malice way. And for that reason, he has been successful. He's been so great because he has that bit of selfishness on the field. And don't take me out of context, but his selfishness on the field as a forward, as a goal scorer, made him the player he is today, and made his career the career he had.
You were coming of age, you must have been 12, 13, I guess, when he was kind of at the height of his stardom in going to Europe. What did having a player like that in Europe who is American do for a young player like yourself in terms of your aspirations?
Yeah, like I said, I think he's been fantastic for the United States in general, for the culture, for soccer in general. But as a kid growing up, when you see an American, playing at the biggest stage, you think, well, it's possible for anybody. As long as you put your mind to it, work extremely hard, and stay determined, it is possible to reach that level. And Clint came from Nacogdoches, right? If I'm saying that right, but he did everything possible to make his career happen, and his parents. So I'm sure Clint owes his parents quite a bit. But if you, as a player growing up in that time, you always wanted to be like Clint. You wanted to be a guy that followed his career and hopefully played with him alongside one day.
Speaking to that, Cristian, growing up and watching him play, what is it like then, as your career got started, to play not only with him for the Sounders, but also to represent the United States with him?
Well, I saw his passion. He never wanted to lose, and that's something that'll carry with me. That attitude was fantastic, and you need that one, two guys on the team to have that attitude. And playing alongside him, obviously, he's been incredible for our team, for my career. I think I was able to get a couple assists with him, and it's what a good goal scorer can do for your team. You put the ball at his feet and he'll do the rest. So, Clint's been always a dangerous player on the field, and teams have been very aware of him and scared of him at times. But for my career, he's been fantastic. Nothing but good things to say about Deuce, and I hope he enjoys retirement. But I know, he'll be around and hanging out with us.
What are you going to miss most about not having him in the locker room every day?
Well, his jokes. I mean, he's a pretty funny guy. He's a guy that stays quiet. But when he says his couple of lines, you're busting up, you're laughing. He may seem serious, off the field if you don't know him, but yeah, when you really sit down and have a conversation with him, you have a blast. He's a funny guy, and he's a guy that you want to be around.
How do you think he'll be remembered here in Seattle?
Well, as a hero, I mean, he unfortunately is tied right now, I believe, or for goals scored with the Sounders. Unfortunately, he couldn't get that last goal, but you know, he's been such an inspiration to all of us, and you know, I think he's left a pretty excellent legacy over the years, and especially overseas. You know, people realize that Americans can play the sport now, and it's because of him and guys like Bocanegra that have been fantastic overseas.
You mentioned your interaction with him in college. As a young player, what did that do for your self-belief? Even if he didn't really say a whole lot to you, what did that sort of mean for you that you had such a sort of impact with that?
Yeah, well, like I said, I still remember his quote, so it's been a cool adventure. But for me, you know, I was able to go back to my college friends and say, yo, I felt Clint today, and I was really scared. But it all worked out. You know, he's a human being with human emotions, and I felt like I could play alongside him one day. But it was just really cool to see that you know, it didn't matter who was on the field, that he would treat you with respect and you know, would hold you accountable for your actions as well.